What's up, bloodsuckers? Today we're going to be playing V Rising, starting a new game from level 1 and seeing how far we can get within an hour. I've just created a new character, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. And whilst the game's loading in, I'm going to start a timer going on stream so that you can see how long we've been in game. Okay, let's go. Alright, this starter area doesn't have much in the way of resources. Sometimes, if you're lucky and you smash all these urns that are hidden around, you can get some bones. Now, bones are the first material you need to craft the weapon, bone sword, the first weapon that you get in the game. So it's definitely worth checking these urns on the way through, although it can be a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you can get quite a few, other times you can come out totally empty-handed. And not to worry though, because as soon as we exit this area we'll be in a graveyard and there's plenty of bones there as well. So it's not really worth worrying too much, just sort of hit them as you pass. And there are actually quite a lot more urns down the side of the steps, I'm just not going to bother with those. So a quick look, we've got 5 bones so far, not great. I think we need about 120 to make the first weapon and armour set that we'll need. So we're going to go ahead and just beat every skeleton we see on the way through this area. Luckily we seem to have timed it quite well because we're just at the beginning of a night time, so we haven't got to worry about the sun burning us just yet. These tombs here can be looted, definitely check them, you get quite a lot of materials from them. Just what you want to do is smash up all the tombstones on the way through here. You basically just smash up everything you can, and everything you get at this stage in the game you're going to need very shortly anyway, so if you don't do it now you'll end up having to go out and farm them specifically later on. Okay, we're now at the stage where we can craft our bone ring, so I'm going to go open up our character tab, go over to the crafting section here, craft a bone sword, and that will craft. You can close the inventory and it will automatically equip as soon as it's finished crafting. In the meantime, we can run around and continue to loot bones and make the most of the time. Now unlocked the bone ring, so let's go ahead and craft that if we've got the materials. Yep, good. And whilst that's cooking away in the inventory, we'll continue to gather resources. A couple more crypts up here we can loot. Hopefully we'll get some more bones. 10 from that one. And 5 from that one. Okay, that's good. At this early stage in the game, just keep gathering those materials and keep just flying through the missions that appear in the top left hand corner. Early on, our first objective is to get into a full set of armour with a weapon, and then unlock the castle heart placement, which allows us to build a castle, or a very basic castle. So the next thing we need to do is craft bone chest and leggings. We can't do boots and gloves yet because we need animal hide, but we're now going to leave this area and go out into a forest where we can find some wolves and liberate them of their hides. So obviously quite a lot of sort of resource grinding early on in this game till you find your feet. But once you get your castle built and a few stations, it changes pretty quickly, and then the focus moves over really onto farming bosses to unlock new skills, which is obviously a lot more fun than sort of bashing trees and hunting wolves. Actually, that's some moose there. I'm not going to bother with that because they're a bit hard to kill at this level, and quite often they just run away before you can kill them, so I'm just going to go and find some wolves. A lot easier to kill. This is actually a waypoint, by the way. These are used for fast travel, and you'll find these all around the map. You can't teleport whilst you're carrying resources, so they're generally only used on outbound journeys. And the return journey, you generally have to run back or ride a horse or use wolf form once you've unlocked it. First off, I'm going to head over to this area over here, I think. So that's a good place for us to build our castle. A lot of the earlier level bosses are around this zone, so if I can head to this little island here, that should put us in good stead for farming a few of the initial bosses. Hopefully we can get to level 20 in this first hour. Now, along the way, if I see any stone, I'm going to take it, because one of the missions coming up is to destroy stone nodes, but I think if you destroy them before you get the mission, they still count towards the total. So let's just check that out. Just destroyed one stone node. Here's another one. And there's actually another early mission to chop trees as well, so if we can get trees and stone whilst we go along this road towards our build location, and it all helps towards our upcoming missions, that will get us a little bit ahead of ourselves. Still haven't seen any wolves though. I think there's someone in here somewhere. Okay, that's a bear. He's definitely wearing an animal hide. We'll see if we can liberate him of that. Just killed another player. I think they're AFK though, so I'm not sure whether it's worth trying to res them. I'm going to drain this creature's blood, which gives me a 6% blood pool. It's not the highest obviously, but it does give us a little bit of a movement buff. Just quickly revive this other player, just because it's the right thing to do. And then we'll be on our way. Okay, just check that we're on the... Check that we're still on the correct path, and we are. Unfortunately, because at this stage in the game we haven't unlocked any of the additional spells or transforms like wolf form, which allows us to move quickly, we're kind of limited with regards to how we can get around to just sort of run in. Once you get wolf form unlocked by defeating the first boss, you can move around a lot quicker, and the game really sort of starts to speed up a little bit more. Initially, I'm going to try and avoid combat wherever there's no real benefit for me to kill the mob. Like these skeletons here, I could easily kill them and get a few bones, but I think we're moving on past the bone phase now, and the next thing we need is animal hide, and then we're going to be on to looking for copper. Blood roses is another thing we're going to need quite early on, and really we need to get our castle built more than anything, so we can get workstations down and start crafting things like planks and copper ingots to build tier 2 gear. It's going to be a push to get to fully into tier 2 by the end of the hour, but we'll see. Another thing that's really worth doing when you build your first castle, you won't have stone walls and you won't have a roof, you'll just have wooden palisade walls. So there's an item you can build called a bone brazier or something along those, a bone mister I think it's called, and it burns bones basically to create a fog that blocks sunlight and stops you from getting burnt. So that's really something that you should definitely be building as one of the first items, because sunlight damage can be quite severe. So you need to do everything you can to protect yourself from it. You can go in shadows like I just have, and that will stop you from taking damage. But obviously if you're in your house and you've got no roof, having a big cloud of mist that you can go into is quite helpful. Okay, so this is where we're going to build, and we've also got some wolves. I'm going to try and get up here and see if we can bring these wolves up and drop. Oh, someone's already built here. Okay, that's not ideal. I think we're going to die here. Yep, they're down. Oh well. I was kind of counting on that area being free, to be honest with you. We'll have to find somewhere else. Okay, we've got quite a long walk back to where we were as well. That's a shame. It's going to slow us down a bit. So yeah, once you die, you'll see there's a red grave marker on the map, and you can just go back there and pick your loot up if it's a PvE server. On a PvP server, I believe other players have the opportunity to just loot all the gear that you've dropped. So in that case it would be a bit of a race against time to get back before anybody else could get your gear. But yeah, daylight is quite a concern really early, especially early on in the game, when you've got very limited armour and protection against sunlight. The damage that it deals is very quick and very, very powerful. So whilst I'm wandering up here, I'm just going to have a quick look at the map and see what other options we've got in regards to somewhere to build. Ouch. If you take damage, by the way, you can use a skill called Blood Mend, and that just empties your blood pool in order to replenish your health. You do have to keep an eye on the amount of blood you've got, and if you run out you need to replenish it by drinking a creature or a humanoid's blood. Otherwise, if your blood pool runs totally dry, you will start taking damage over time. "45 minutes left." That death's really going to hurt us with regards to chance to get fully into tier 2, and even with a full hour with no deaths, it's kind of pushing it. It's the sort of thing where you can get to the point where you're ready to get into tier 2, but obviously refining the materials like ingots and hides into leather does take a bit of time, so you might be at the stage where after the first hour, where you've got the materials you need, but you've just got to wait for them to actually refine in order to make the gear you need for tier 2. Okay, another thing to note is whilst you're feeding, you are actually vulnerable as well. You can take damage whilst you're feeding, so it's best to, if possible, only feed while there's nothing attacking you. Just come up here, get my container. Grab that wood, and then we'll go and find somewhere to build. This red rose there is a blood rose. If we see any of those, we'll be taking them along the way because they are needed for crafting one of the low tier rings, and that should be on our list of things to do quite shortly. You see that wolf had 8% blood, which I just accidentally left clicked on. I was going to drink it. That would have been a slight upgrade, but not a huge one anyway, so I'm not too worried. So really, we need to find somewhere to build. It doesn't need to be the best spot. Not planning on staying in this location for too long. I just want somewhere to put a heart down where I can basically build a starter castle. Actually, first I need to finish crafting my armour, don't I? Those 2 armours, and then I should have the castle heart unlocked after they finish. See, here's not a bad spot. We've got 3 copper nodes right on our doorstep. I think we're still quite close to the first bosses. So let's go ahead and do that. Bone guard gloves should now be completed. Yep, we've got the claim button, and we've already done our 3 trees. It did count them, so we just need to craft a bone axe. We can do that now. Hopefully, after we've done that, it will probably, I think it tells us to craft a mace next. Yeah, bone mace. We've already done the rocks, it did count them. So now we're crafting our mace. And after this, we should be able to place our castle heart, if I remember correctly. Yep, okay. So now we're in business. Let's get our castle heart down. There's a space there, we can just drop it in. So this is not really the best spot to build. I'm just trying to rush through and get as much completed in the first hour as I can. Really, you don't have to worry too much about where you place your castle initially, because you can always move it. And another thing is you can place 2 castles as well. It's not as if you're limited to 1 castle. You can place 2. So that means you can have 1 castle basically as just like an outpost where you use it to sort of stage into towns, and if you die you've got a close by respawn, and then you can have your other main castle wherever you want really. It's quite a popular choice is to put it in the more challenging higher level areas. Okay, some foundation, that's why I haven't got the option option to expand. Okay, I haven't interacted with my castle hat, that's why. Right, now I can place my walls. We don't need to do the whole thing, we just need to place 3 palisades in order to progress. So now we want to place a coffin, and we need more wood. Just going to chop some trees. Just under 40 minutes left on the timer. It's not too bad considering we've had a death. Once we get to level 20, we'll be able to start harvesting all these copper nodes that are immediately around our camp as well, so that should play in our favour, the fact that we've got such a rich wealth of resources in the immediate location around here. I think I might have enough now to make a wooden coffin. Yeah, okay. And a wooden stash as well. Okay, we can do that. Now, next thing is to make a sawmill. Production, refinement, sawmill. We need more lumber and a bit more stone. One of the nice things about this game as well is when you gather resources, which is just done with your normal weapon, by the way, you don't need any specific tools. Rather than having to rapidly left click, you can just hold the mouse button down and move your character around, and it just makes the whole gathering process a bit more laid back and easy going. Really, at this stage in the game, the majority of our time, I think, is going to be spent just gathering wood and stone to get our castle stations built, our crafting stations that we need in order to make the next tier of armour in the first place, rather than actually grind down the materials for the armour itself, which is quite a quick process. Okay, let's see, have we now got enough for us? Not quite, we still need a bit more lumber, another 50 lumber. We're gonna take on the world. Okay, that's enough now. Now we can place a sawmill. Ideally, really, we want to get 2 sawmills down, but that will do for the time being. And we also want to craft a workbench, which is under crafting, and to do that we will need 8 planks. Actually, I should be using the axe because it does chop wood a lot quicker than the sword. So just going to gather a little bit more wood. If I can get that second sawmill down, it will make our planks a lot quicker, well, obviously twice as quick as a single sawmill, which should have quite a positive effect on how quick we can progress. because we need these planks in order to build quite a few of the upcoming stations. Can't gather that stone, I have to go and gather these ones. Okay, so our second sawmill down. Right, now what I'm going to do is split the wood that I've got in between them. And that's enough for 4 planks in that one, and 4 planks from that one. Whilst they're actually churning away and making those planks, I'll get some more lumber, because lumber is quite a universal material that's required for most of the stations we'll be building. I think we need to build we'll need to build a tannery shortly after we kill the second boss, and we'll also need to create a research desk, I believe. So we're about 27 minutes in, and we're almost at the stage where we have the stations to start creating our tier 2. They're not quite yet, not quite there. Still need to place a forge, and I need to unlock the tannery. Oops. Eaten by a carnivorous plant there. Probably best to leave that alone. Okay, I've got everything I need apart from the planks now. So you just press your middle mouse button to split stacks. It's kind of handy if you've got 2 workstations or 2 sawmills. You can just split each stack in half and then make sure you distribute 50-50 to each sawmill so that they're always running in sync, and that way you get the most efficient resource refinement. So I've now got my 9 planks. That's more than I need. I think it's more than, yeah. Simple workbench is down, and I can start refining my bone sword. I need more planks for that, and also the plated bone guard armor can be made. Okay, I need more animal hides to finish those 2 pieces. that's enough. Need 2 more stone to be able to craft a bone mister. Mr. Brazier either, and that will basically just stop us from getting sunburnt to death in our own house. Kind of important, really. Right, so now we have enough to make the tier 1.5 armour. Just under half hour left, and we're now in full 1.5 armour. We've still got the weapon upgrade to do and the ring upgrade. I'm not sure if I've actually got enough. I need 1 more blood rose to be able to do the ring upgrade, and just planks and stone for the sword upgrade. Planks looks like it's covered. Need a bit more stone. Also need 1 more blood rose, and that would be enough. They're normally reasonably easy to find in this forest. So I think what I'll do is I'll get the weapon upgrade done, and then I'll go out and look for the alpha wolf and hopefully find some blood rose on the way to finding him. Okay, so we now have a reinforced bone sword, puts us at level 17, and next create a blood altar. So we go to production dominance, and there's the blood altar. We've already got enough stone to make that, so we can just stick it down. We're actually a bit low on space though, so really could do with actually expanding this castle a little bit. At the moment, don't want to spend too much time on that. There we go. Right, we've got our blood altar down. Let's use the blood altar to track the alpha wolf, and then let's go and drink his blood so that we can get wolf form unlocked. He's over this way. You can see that we're getting a blood mist trail to follow, or a blood aroma trail to follow, because we use the blood altar, and that will sort of guide us towards our target. Here's the blood rose that we need for our ring upgrade, and this is a wolf den. I think this is actually where the alpha wolf is going to spawn. Might be an idea just to hang back in these shadows a little bit and kill all these small wolves. Wait for nightfall before we take the boss on. He's not that challenging, to be honest with you, but fighting anything in the daytime is a bit risky, really. Moon's rising. And there's the alpha wolf. Top tip early on is, well, through any stage of the game actually, is that you can use the terrain to your advantage. If you see, if the wolf charges me and I'm stood behind a tree or a rock, it's the tree or the rock that's going to take the damage of his charge and not me, which is probably preferential, let's say. So yeah, definitely use that to your advantage. You see that he actually sort of hunkers down before he charges, and when he does that you just want to shift out of the way using your travel move. Okay, so he's down, and we've got his blood. And when you kill a V-boss, by the way, they cause this big explosion which destroys pretty much all the nodes around them, so it's always worth picking up all those free resources, basically. They would otherwise take you about 5 or 10 minutes to gather manually. So now that he's down, I'm just going to quickly use Blood Mend, gain back some of those HP I lost in the fight, and then go back to the castle and continue with making a research desk and upgrading the gear a bit further. Once we get to level 20, these copper nodes become harvestable, and there's 4 of them there, and that should give us all the copper we need to create a weapon. Okay, I need a little bit more stone and then I can make my research desk. Just over 20 minutes left on the timer, it's not too bad. And we also, I think we got enough blood rose, so I can now make that ring. And that should give us, that might even get us to 120, I think it will. Not 120, to 20. Okay, so the blood rose ring is now made. Next upgrade is the gravedigger ring, which we need to hit the graveyard to make. We've now got level 20. We can make our research desk. We should now be able to additionally go and harvest those copper nodes. I think we can make a smelting furnace as well, although we'll need some copper to do that and a bit more stone. Just going to quickly reorganize this place though, because it's becoming a bit difficult to navigate with all this stuff all over the place. Okay, I'll leave that where it is. About another 420 stone. There's 2 nodes here, that's quite handy. By the way, something worth paying attention to is the fact that different weapons are better at harvesting different resources than others. Like the mace is better for stone, the axe is better for trees, and the sword is better for just general foliage like plant fibres and things like that. Still can't attack those gem nodes, which is a shame because you do get stone from those as well. Or can I actually? I might be able to attack it with the sword because the mace I was using was tier 1, whereas this sword is the weapon that I upgraded to 1.5, so just head quickly back and see if I can attack it with the sword. Yep, that's working. Gems in there as well as stone. We're still going to need quite a bit more stone, I think. 265, and we need 480. There's another node over here though, so I think another 2 nodes should do it. These bandits in this camp here are quite a bit higher than me, but I'll try and avoid them. The archer there I think is a fire archer, so we really want to avoid him setting us on fire if at all possible. Check that we've got enough stone. I still need more. Let's see what's over this way. There's some roads over here. Still looking fairly good clockwise. 15 minutes left, and all we really need to do is just smelt some iron and get some leather, and then we can make the next tier of armour. Well, just had a server restart in 10 minutes morning, so unfortunately we've only got 10 minutes and not 15. Better get a rigger on. Okay, so we've got low essence in our castle heart. We need to put some more blood essence in there. Now we can make our research desk and a smelter. Drinks needed for the research desk. I think we've already made those though, so we should be good. Oh, we've actually already made a research desk, haven't we? What am I thinking? We just need to interact with it. Okay, so the next stage is to upgrade the castle heart. But to do that we need copper, and we're not going to be using our copper to upgrade the castle heart initially. We're going to be using it to upgrade our weapons before we upgrade the heart. So what I'm going to do is get rid of all these resources that I'm carrying by loading up the lumber mills. Stick the rest in storage. And now I'm going to use our blood altar, and we're going to track Keely the Frost Archer and get this leather tannery unlocked. Keely the Frost Archer is in, I think she's in this area. I think this is the bandit tannery area. Or the bandit trapper area. We have got wolf form unlocked, so we can travel a little bit quicker now. Hopefully we can kill her before the server goes down. I'm not overly confident that we can actually get to fully into tier 2 within the time we've got left now though, because the server's going down in just under 5 minutes, or just over 5 minutes I think. Ooh, 46 and I just killed him. That's a bit of a shame. But there's a 54% blood there. That will do very nicely instead. So when we get a higher blood percentage, it unlocks a lot more blood pool buffs and makes us stronger, basically, which is ideal for an upcoming boss fight. Okay, 5 minutes left. Hopefully we can get the boss done in that time. Just going to use Blood Men to fully heal up and then wait for nightfall, really. Oh no, the boss is here. Doesn't look like we've got that luxury. Just picked up a reinforced bone spear, which actually is a very good weapon for a boss, because the spear is quite a good weapon for one-on-one DPS, single target DPS. So that could help us. Ooh, she clipped me there. And there she goes, down. Okay, so we would have about 5 minutes left, which honestly probably would be enough time for us to get fully into tier 2 if the server wasn't going down, especially given we've now got the tannery unlocked and a bit of leather from this camp. But I'm not sure we can actually get back and refine our leather in time, the remaining leather that we'll need to finish making that tier 2 set. Let's give it a go. So we'll need 160 hides and 8 planks. We've got the planks. I'm not sure whether we've got 160 hides, so might have. we've definitely got enough hides now to make the station. And the server's down. Oh well, we gave it a good go and we had everything we needed to get to tier 2, but we didn't quite make it due to the server going down. We have 4 minutes left, unfortunate, but there we go, not a bad run, and thanks for watching guys, bye.